Hip Solutions Dual Mobility Surgical Technique and Instrument Guide. The user should be familiar with the full written surgical technique prior to using the Pinnacle Hip Dual Mobility System. Prepare the acetabulum as described in the Pinnacle Hip Solutions surgical technique. Insert the Pinnacle cup trial using the inserter handle and confirm seating by sighting through the cutouts in the cup trial. Position the correct Pinnacle Dual Mobility Liner trial and secure to the trial cup using the standard hex head screwdriver. Place the Articules head trial onto the Pinnacle Dual Mobility head trial insertion tool. Insert the assembled Pinnacle Dual Mobility head trial insertion tool into the Pinnacle Dual Mobility head trial. Remove the Pinnacle Dual Mobility head trial insertion tool and verify that the Articules head trial can move freely within the mobile bearing trial. Place the mobile bearing assembly onto the neck trial of the femoral component by hand and reduce the construct into the acetabular shell and liner trial. Reduce the hip and assess what adjustments, if any, are required to ensure stability through a full range of motion. Insert and impact the definitive Pinnacle cup following the technique for the chosen implant. Ensure that the inside of the shell is clean, dry, and free of any debris or soft tissue which could prevent the liner from seating. Gently place the Pinnacle Dual Mobility liner into the cup. The liner is designed to facilitate correct alignment. Initial alignment can be achieved by pressing down on the liner rim face with 2 fingers 180 degrees apart. Impact the liner into the cup until the taper engages and locks the liner into the cup. A noticeable gap will remain after the dual mobility liner is fully seated. This gap is by design and should be consistent around the circumference of the cup liner construct. The 3 cutouts along the liner rim allow for visual inspection of the liner seating. The face of the liner rim should be parallel to the shell as viewed through the cutouts. The face of the rim and cup should be concentric. As a secondary seating confirmation method, position the Pinnacle depth gauge between the liner rim and cup face. Run the end of the depth gauge around the circumference of the rim, checking the distance between the components. Screw the support cone and the clamping ring together, ensuring that they are centered on the fork. Place the head on the support cone and position the liner on the head. Squeeze the handles to reduce the liner onto the head while maintaining the line in the axis of the support cone of the press in the descent of the piston. During assembly of the liner onto the head, the user will feel resistance increase twice and hear 2 successive noises as the head passes the retentive bore and the air escapes from the bearing. Correct assembly is confirmed when the head rotates freely in the polyethylene liner. Clean and dry the stem taper carefully to remove any particulate debris. Place the femoral head onto the taper and lightly tap the headliner assembly using the headliner inserter. Ensure the bearing surfaces are clean and avoid any damage to the bearing surface during reduction. Primary movement occurs between the femoral head and polyethylene liner, allowing the mobile polyethylene liner to sit in its natural position within the cup. Secondary movement occurs between the polyethylene liner and the cup when the femoral neck contacts the polyethylene liner.